the Distance Learning Podcast. We have a segment on our show called Growing Up Geeky.
Huh?
What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Oh, when I was a kid? That's a really good question, man. I mean, I geeked out on, like, My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Barbie, like the traditional things, what?
I'm asking, is there any bronies out there?
Oh, yeah. I definitely had a lot of that kind of like music. I've always geeked out on music. I love music from all different, genres, decades, all of that stuff. And I definitely did some gaming, some like Nintendo, like Super Nintendo, that kind of thing with my brothers. We had a house of a lot of, like, my brother's a computer programmer, so he was always putting things together, taking things apart.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so we were playing like Megatron. No, Mega Man. Mega Man. Sorry, Mega Man.
I guess you could play Megatron,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. My son's super into Megatron. Into Transformers.
I commend him.
Yes. So we into a lot of that stuff.
Just learning more about you, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a super small town in Idaho. So, southeast Idaho. It's called Silver Springs. And I was born in northern Idaho, actually. We moved when I was like 4. So I grew up in Little Silver Springs. It's right on the Wyoming-Utah border, like 3,000 people. And
that's cool.
Yeah. It's great.
Feel?
Yeah, very small. I didn't realize, obviously, that it was a small town until I left. It was really a small town. Yeah.
That's true.
Yes, Medford is huge compared to that town.
So how do you go from, as you say, Soda Springs, to becoming a voice actor? Because, like when I was growing up, I love cartoons and animation and shows. I never dreamed of actually being a voice actor is a job. It's an occupation, a career. How do you, I'm so fascinated by all of you that you have this cool job of,
job I want to have.
Exactly.
Yeah, right? I mean, I had the same. I never even thought of it as a job that people did. I just sort of watched TV, I watched cartoons. It was not anywhere in my realm of something that I would grow up to be, because I grew up when people were, teachers and doctors and
accountants.
Accountants. Just the basic, jobs that you learn about as a kid, and that's what people did. There wasn't these sort of outlier jobs, and it wasn't even a reality, because it wasn't, at that time, you weren't able to watch YouTube and the internet, that stuff, I feel like has definitely opened up the doors for a lot of things. So, basically, it's not basically, this is I took some turns and some long routes, but I got into acting very randomly. Like, somebody sort of approached me about it, and I was also going to school at the time, and I graduated in physics and chemistry education. I was a teacher, and that was
physics and chemistry.
Yeah, it was a composite major, so it was sort of like you're doing a little of both.
So you need a degree in physics and chemistry to become a voice actor?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Actually, where I'm hanging up is somebody approached you to get into acting, and he's like, in Soda Springs?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a girl that I went to high school with. She was modeling, and her mom told such a small town thing. Her mom was like, she knew my mom, because everybody knows each other, and said, your daughter should get into modeling, because whatever. Here's all the information. And I remember thinking, what? Oh, yeah. Like, I just thought it was sort of silly. Like, there was no way. And so I sort of I did get into that world a little bit, but I'm 5'3", and modeling wasn't really my, forte. But it did get me into acting. That's where I got into acting, because that was something where I could really, it didn't matter, size, all of those things, right? And so I was doing that. But also, of course, I was like, well, but I still have to go get my degree, and I still have to do a real job and all of that stuff. So after I was graduated and was teaching, and I had taken some classes and things, I just realized teaching wasn't for me. Not that I don't have mad respect for teachers, I just knew that there were other things I wanted to do, and and I kept waiting tables, which I was still doing when I taught school, and pursued that. I got my SAT card, and basically I moved up to Seattle. Because that's where people go to act. I know. So I don't know why I went up there. I have family up there, and I did have an on-camera agent who got me a voiceover audition. And that voiceover audition was for Nintendogs. I don't know if you remember that.
Which dog is it?
I was the like commercial voice for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
It was in Target stores and things like that. So
Shout out to Nintendogs.
Yeah.
shout out to Nintendogs!
That's awesome.
And I remember thinking I had the audition. All right, I went and had to record the audition, which was a big deal back then. I had to find somebody that had a microphone and could record it for me, put it on a CD, and then drive and drop it off. And I thought, oh my gosh, that was such a huge pain.
It's a CD. I'm just kidding.
There's maybe.
That you can like hang.
Floppy.
There's the
Oh,
decorations
God.
now.
They're very good decorations now. They like keep birds away. And I booked that job. So that sort of led, and then I ended up moving to LA. Same thing happened with Star Wars: The Old Republic. I got an audition for my on-camera agent, and I booked it. And my agent was like, maybe you should get a voiceover agent. And so then I started taking classes and really grind.
But
Yeah, he seemed very confused when he called me. I didn't even know I booked it. It's like, so they want you to come in and read for this. What do you mean? Did I book it? Because I'd already auditioned. He's like, yeah, maybe you should get a voiceover agent. So basically after that, then I learned you don't book every job that you audition for, because then it was the grind of, okay, I gotta put in the work here. I took classes upon classes. Started with commercial. That's where you pretty much always, most agents want you to have a commercial very well.
oh, okay. Can you, for all three of you, do you remember auditioning for your respective roles? Can you give us a little story behind that? I'll let you guys pick this.
Here? Yeah, specifically for Goku TV, I'm assuming that Goku. Yeah, for me it was Ian Corlett was kind of the original OG English Goku in North America, and so he was on the show for a while and had to move on for whatever reasons, and then they held open auditions. So it was a blanket audition, and we got some footage to listen to of Ian doing the role, and I'd said it before, me and Ian's cadence is a little similar, a little bit deeper maybe, but we would audition for the same projects a lot, and it just so happened that they liked what they heard, and the next thing I knew, I had the part, and when it came out, there was, I didn't know what to expect, and some people liked it, a lot of people hated me so much that there was a change, and then certain people, turned the corner and like, okay, well maybe he's okay. Maybe I kind of like it.
I love it.
Yeah, I remember at the time there were like votes online, like did you like Ian, and it still continues today with like which Goku is your favorite. Ian Corlett puts it the best, I think. It's almost like saying who's your favorite James Bond or something. Well, it's the one usually that you grew up with, usually, and you're allowed to like any more, and there's no wrong choice.
Why is the Goku standing in front of me here at Ani-Medford, right? Elise, how about you?
I do remember because I was so excited to audition for Pan, and I have asthma, and so about twice a year I get a really bad bout and it affects my voice, and I got that right before my audition, and so I was a little raspier than the grandpa that you usually hear, but I was like, I'm going to this audition, I don't care, I am making this happen. And so for me, once I booked it and started recording, the rasp was gone because I was no longer sick. I wasn't sick contagious, but sick with asthma and having trouble speaking. And so I was like, they're gonna fire me. And so each time I went in to record, I'm like, okay, I'm still here. Oh, okay, I'm back. And so it was about 6 or so episodes where I'm like, okay, I think I got it. And then 65 episodes, I felt pretty good about it. So I very clearly remember auditioning.
You bring up a very good life lesson, by the way.
What's that?
People that are worried about being fired almost never get fired. And the people that don't almost always do.
Then I'm going to worry more.
Yeah, that's that. Anyway, I feel like a complete fraud because I did not audition for Boy, no, it's not. I was friends with Chris Sabat, and he said, I got a role here I think you really like. And, you know, we came in and did it, and it was fun. It was a blast. So, you know, we started doing more stuff.
And speaking of a firing story, I once, I don't know if it was firing or just been released from a project. I mean, it's a nice way to say it, but this was an interesting reason why. It was an animated series. And apparently, I never got to see it, the final product, but it started in real life, real world, real people, and then it went into an animated segment for a whole middle part of the show, and then it ended off with human beings wrapping up the program. But the interesting thing was it was being produced by Jim Carrey, and every episode had a different charity that the show's money was donated to, so it was like this fantastic cause every time. So I had recorded, there was a massive auditioning and callback process, and I landed one of the roles. It was great. I recorded like 8 episodes, and they would have a big guest star every week, like a big name person. But we never knew who it was going to be because they didn't record with us. So I'm at an airport. My agent calls and he goes, "Oh, hey, so you've been cut from that show?" And I'm like, "What? I've already done like 8 episodes." And he goes, "Yeah, well, apparently Jim Carrey was having lunch with Hank Azaria." The story sounds weird, you know, like unbelievable. He's having lunch with Hank Azaria because he was offering him one of the guest star roles for that week, just for the week. And then Hank Azaria goes, "Well, what about that character?" And he goes, "Sure, do that." That was my character. So I got paid for the episodes I did. But if you're going to get fired, I think getting fired for Hank Azaria is a pretty good reason, I guess. I'd hire him.
Absolutely the best way to get fired. Yeah.
The way to get fired.
Guys, all right. So you all came in at different points for Dragon Ball and just Dragon Ball in general, right? Did any of you guys know what you were getting into when you got into it? So it's kind of like, were you aware of Dragon Ball and kind of like how much of a massive phenomenon it was? I know for Pete, you got on fairly early.
Yeah.
But you know, you were towards the end of the show and you were in that series. So it's like, you know, did you guys know how much of a massive cultural phenomenon Dragon Ball was?
No, I mean, they were before me, but even coming in at GT, I didn't even know anime at the time. I then started loving anime. I was a fan of animation, and when I got into that world, I just had no idea. I certainly didn't know I would be here with you all of these years later. So I feel so lucky to have gotten in on it, to have booked and to have done that for so many years.
Yeah, no, I remember I had 2 sons, and they were, I want to say about 7 and 9 or 10, you know, and I thought it would impress them if I was like on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And by the way, before that, there were no Comic Cons, and it's like, we didn't have a place to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my sons, not only were they not impressed, nobody believed them. Like when they went to school, you know, I said, "My dad's to war," and like, "No, he's not." And so anyway, I went to one of their home rooms, and this little kid comes marching up to me. I'll never forget this. He goes, "You're not Gabor on Dragon Ball Z?" "Yes, I am. I am the king of the demon world." I think I scared him so bad he bit himself.
I just wet myself right now, so.
When our daughter was young, I had done a number of RD DVDs. Like I think I in total I did about 8 of them, and one of them was RB as a pop star, RB and a pop star, and I played a character called Kreider, which is RB's manager, this annoying guy. And I remember our daughter watching it, and you know, my wife saying, "Well, that's Dada," and she's like, "No, that's Kreider." He does the voice for it. No. Not impressed, not convinced, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get a lot of "don't do that" talking in a real voice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I gotta ask this.
Yeah.
How much prep work did you guys put into running?
Put into what?
Into grunting.
Oh, a lot. A lot of grunting. And, well, I don't know about you guys, but even like the fighting I loved. I had these moments where I was like, I can't believe I'm in a booth going, yeah. But then it's also and so I was not used to that, but I would find myself at home closing the cabinet door going, my husband's like, what you doing? We don't need sound effects for everything we do at home. So that was something that was new to me.
See, I don't have footage of me voicing Goku like in the studio, but I had to imagine it. It's much like, when a cat is at the window and it sees a bird outside? It was pretty much like that, I think, because we're watching the screen and we're just like, and cut. That was work for the day.
And what I love is the scripts. Medium grunt.
Yeah.
Small oof. It's like everything's weird.
Two lines of dialogue and then 18 pages of fighting.
Right.
Peter, you mentioned it yesterday. Tell us about the recording process of how it changed based on the grunting and like how it affects your voice and whatnot.
Yeah, when we started, we would do the script like chronologically, like as you would think, page 1, page 2, page 3. But in these massive fight scenes, we would have sometimes dialogue in the beginning, fight for 18 pages, and then have more dialogue, and then we would try to do the dialogue at the end, our voice was shot. So then, instead of the producers going, hey, maybe we'll give you more time. No, what they did was, they made us do all the dialogue for like 5 episodes in a row, and then we would do all the screaming for 5 episodes in a row for like 4 hours. Literally 4 hours of screaming.
So basically, like, you'd have entire sessions, because there was entire episodes where all you did was,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I said this to you, but I can't remember how many years ago, but they decided to re-record Dragon Ball Z. And Chris Sabat comes to me and he goes, it's going to be all killer, no filler. And I said, less dialogue? More fighting? Really? Yeah. Loved it.
And you got killed off. I mean, is that what he meant?
Say that again?
And then you got killed off. Is that what he meant?
No, I got eaten. There's a difference.
All right, let's switch gears. So, we're at a con. What's it been like here at the con, seeing all these people, from city to city? What has the reception been like for all of you?
It's been awesome. I signed somebody who was wearing a TV as a head. I signed.
Shout out to the TV on it.
Yeah, he's around somewhere. He or she is around somewhere because I don't know their face. I signed a samurai sword and then I signed a 2-month-old baby. So it's been pretty awesome.
Me too.
You signed the baby too.
I signed the baby too.
Yeah.
The question is, where did you sign the baby? Was it on the forehead or?
I found a good area on his belly that was clear of signatures. So right over the belly button area, right around there.
I want to come in here 30 years from now. So Brad, why have you never made?
The autograph.
We're just throwing it out there that baby is now worth a lot more money, so.
I think the baby is on eBay right now.
No, this convention has been great, and I just love conventions in general. Rick and I did our first convention together in 2018, so we have not gotten the memo about conventions, even though some of our Dragon Ball Z buddies have been doing it for a while. So I just love when people come together for the anime fandom or Dragon Ball fandom, whatever it is. So I love the energy of conventions, and this one is no exception. I love it. So thank you all for being here.
Absolutely. From us to you, please give yourself a huge hand. Seriously, we're not doing that to you, and we're very aware of it. Thank you so much.
So we've got something fun for all 3 of you guys here. So all 3 of your respective characters have not been on Dragon Ball at the same time. Right? Like, technically Goku and Pan, but different versions of the character, right? So we want to kind of do something fun for the audience here. Something for the first time. Would you guys mind doing a quick little fantasy Dragon Balling?
Not a problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this is what we're gonna do, guys. Who here is familiar with improv? Cool. What we're gonna ask them to do is improv a scene that's never happened in Dragon Ball. Would you guys like that? Yeah! All right, so here's the scene, guys. The scene is this: Goku has been transported. The Goku that during the Frieza saga, the whole Frieza storyline, right? Has been transported in time, and for the first time, he's meeting his granddaughter. Alright. Now they're having this whole heartfelt get together, but all of a sudden, King Ghidorah walks in to break up all the fun. Alright? Go at it. Alright.
Well, hey there, little girl. Who are you?
Well, I'm Pan. Who are you?
Wait a sec. I'm not even married.
Well, what? I don't even know what that means.
Neither do I. This is weird.
This is weird. But they were telling me that you're my grandpa?
Well, that's awesome. You know, I used to have a monkey tail.
A monkey tail? What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Absolutely nothing. I'm just very nervous.
I can tell. You're actually a bit weird.
All right, honey, I'm home. Oh, I'm sorry. What's this little boy doing here?
Girl.
You're a girl?
And she's my granddaughter.
Yeah, that's my grandpa. And
Apparently.
Apparently, yes. And you are...
Somebody hiding from Majin Buu. You wouldn't happen to have an appetite for a cookie, would you?
I like cookies.
You like cookies?
Uh-huh.
I don't. I hate cookies. Look at me. I am a cookie.
Oh, I didn't hear that part of the improv. Correction?
I used to have a monkey tail.
That's amazing. We love you. I don't know about you guys, the entire time I was waiting for like a joint Kamehameha, kind of like Gohan and Goku, and it never happened. I think it's because Ghidorah was just more like obsessed with cookies than he was like, you know, I'm gonna fight you guys. But it's still amazing. I love you guys so much.
That's on the way, is it? Okay.
So does that make you the
Stop. I don't even know. I feel like okay. Go ahead.
Wizard of Oz show?
Okay, I thought you were going Shield Hero since your name is Nelty.
You know that's something I probably could have done, but
I'm disappointed in you.
I know,
I
right?
expected more.
Yeah. I tend to disappoint a lot. So.
Welcome, Jackie. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Happy to be here.
And welcome home,
Yeah.
Michelle Marie.
Yeah, I'm a native Oregonian, born and raised.
Nice.
Right here. Well, not right here.
No, I'm from the coast, New York.
Okay, very
Oh,
cool.
we got some people from Newport here.
You got Newport fans, Newport celebrities. This is amazing. It's amazing. All right, I know there's going to be a lot of Demon Slayer questions. By the way, every time we go to, there's always so many Demon Slayer cosplays.
It's a great anime. Everybody loves it.
It's so cool.
We had this whole conversation about how good Demon Slayer is.
And like, I'll tell you guys, it took me years to finally watch Demon Slayer, even though I was in it, but it took me like 3 years, and then I watched it all, like in one sitting. It was amazing. It was like, I've been slacking.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. All right, Jackie, you know the drill. We have a segment on our show called Growing Up Geeky. What did you geek out on as a kid?
I geeked out over everything. Anything that there was to geek out on. Anime, especially Sailor Moon. I mean, Toonami, I was there every day at 4:30 watching it. Actually, I think it started at 4 o'clock, but still it's 4:30, so that's all I cared about. And then, of course, Lord of the Rings, all of that. Anything nerdy, I am full into. Yes.
That's
Sorry,
awesome.
it's hot. My brain is melting.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been up here the entire time. I know.
I can't even imagine how hot you must be.
Not at all.
And like, all the emotion.
Hot as far as heat, but not as like looks. So.
Like,
No,
you mean, You mean how moist?
No!
Do you guys not like the word moist?
I love the word moist. No? Okay, let's keep going.
I think you may have like made the whole
You
audience
make these
cringe.
people leave.
I apologize for the moisture. Okay, Michelle Marie, tell us about what you geeked out on as a kid, because it seems like it was story.
Yeah, so I also grew up with Konami. Inuyasha was my very first anime, and it's kind of weird to actually be a part of the series like 18 years later, so it's like a really weird like, coincidence kind of thing, so that's really special. What else did I do? Like, I don't know, it's kind of maybe the heat, but my brain is also...
Yeah, I have words.
Yeah, but they're not there. I was like Inuyasha, and I don't have anything else.
Did you also cry during your first recording session, like I did?
No, but during when I was recording for Inuyasha, because the cast hadn't been confirmed yet, like for the Yashihime, and so I didn't know if like the OG cast was set your back. So what they do in the movie is they play the Japanese preview to get like a feel for your scene, and you get 3 beats to come in with your English line. Well, there's 3 pre-rolls to hear the English, and I heard Kelly Sheridan's voice, and I almost cried in the booth and almost missed my cue because I was like, she's back!
I did cry. I heard you go May, and it was just tears. And I was like, I'm sorry, I just in a moment, I'm having a freak out.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So we're together in Demon Slayer, but we're also in Yashihime together. We played like
Anime.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we're together, yeah.
We're the Olympics.
Yep.
You guys are like anime sisters or something. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating that when I grew up, I watched cartoons and stuff like that. I never thought it was possible to get into voice acting. Whereas like you two grew up on anime and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be voice actor.
I can't be an actor in anime because I'm not animated. So
No,
that's how it is with
I
kids,
like
right?
to think that I couldn't escape my fate. I tried to run from it. I tried to be responsible and get a degree and go after a solid, stable job, and it just pulled me right back in. I didn't have a chance.
Yeah. I actually worked at a preschool for a while, so I'm a preschool teacher. But and I have a newfound patience for teachers, like less teachers. You have to have a lot of patience and energy because you're really tired at the end of the day. But then I moved back home to Oregon, and I was like, I think it's acting. Like I can't escape. That's what I wanted to do since I was 6. I was seeing my first musical, and I was like, I'm hooked. So
That's
You're
cool.
a creative person. You can't get away from it. You have to express
you'll find
yourself.
some way to bring it back into your life.
So did you start off like stage acting? Or?
Yeah, actually, my background is in theater, like musicals, and I did pretty much all the plays you do at the music and stuff like that. So.
That's interesting.
Okay, it's gonna be really weird. There's this play called Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes.
And I actually was a dead grandma. I was a dead grandma!
I swear they're the same person. I'm telling you, they're the same person.
The new name of this channel is Two Dead Grandmas.
That's our band name.
That is totally a band name. Trademark.
Two Dead Grandmas.
So the question now is it just a guitarist and a bassist and both of you guys sing together? Or like...
Yes, we sing really hard. Yeah, I sing. So should we sing like the grandma now in our band? Yeah.
You guys used to be Garfunkel, like just like both of you just sing and play acoustic guitar together.
Yeah.
A trap remix of this.
A trap remix.
Anime thing.
Yeah, I'll make trap remixes of your songs so that the kids like them. Yeah.
Whatever the interview was, so
Right.
to play it as a
Exactly. So that way the kids like them.
Yes.
You know?
So, to answer the question,
There's a question.
Grandma's Idol was the weirdest one because I hadn't been dead. But what's funny is on the very last day I actually got a cold. And so I couldn't really sing. And then everyone at the end of the show was like, oh, you did amazing. It was so realistic. I was like, well, that's because I wasn't acting. I didn't have a voice. So,
I kid not.
no!
I kid not. I lost my voice on the last one.
What is that?
I could not. And even when I was just talking to my mother, last week about it. She brought it up and I forgot. And she's like, yeah, remember you lost your voice for the whole last May? Are we the same person? I don't know, maybe. Oh my goodness.
The curse of the dead grandma. The curse of the dead grandma.
Okay, let's keep going. Michelle, okay, you took your love for anime to the next level, and you went to go live in Japan.
I did, yes.
So before we hear about that, Jack, did you live in Japan?
I did not live in Japan.
Okay, what's that? Alright, okay. Just question, I can't live it.
But yeah, I actually lived in Japan for 2 years. 1 year I was a rotary in Shinshu, and I lived in Yamagata. And then I went back for my junior year of college in Tokyo. So that was really fun. And actually, up until that point, I hadn't spoken in Japanese other than like self-study. But when I lived in Yamagata, I kind of was thrown into language that you don't know. And so I learned all of the language like 3 months because your brain actually like goes into survival mode so that it can absorb stuff. Yeah, that's fun. So, but the funny thing is that when I came home, I actually forgot English. So, like I spoke English, but I'd be like, oh, Mom, I'm going back to school in 9th month, right? She's like, you mean September? I was like, oh yeah, that's the word.
That's cool. That's kind of like, Phil over here speaks Spanish. It's kind of like Spanglish, you can go back and forth.
The Spanglish is hard. Sometimes like I can't get out of speaking Spanglish.
Yeah.
Right? Spanish, I mean, like I'll get right back to English. I don't have any problem. It's like, yeah, no. If I get into Spanglish, it becomes a thing.
Okay, let's get back to you guys. Let's get back to you guys being the same person. What were some of your like anime inspirations or voice acting inspirations growing up? You guys just
Very louder. Next question.
My voice actor inspiration has always been Jodie Benson. The Little Mermaid, Thumbelina.
Oh.
Yes, I adore her.
Still working today.
Yes. He came so close to me getting on with her, and then it fell through.
Wow.
That was it. Oh, it was just a dream.
That would have been mind-blowing.
Oh my! I think I would have passed out. I honestly, I think I would have.
I saw you get nervous with Greg Lyle around. I can imagine if you were around Jodie Benson just.
Need a sweatshirt for sure.
In fact, she's got, I think, the Lego Princess new movie that comes out this coming week. They brought her back to do the voice. I have 2 young girls, that's why I know this.
Oh, sure.
Not that I'm also.
Yeah, no,
He has
Lego.
I don't know. He watches them. I mean, Louis' his favorite show. So.
Exactly.
I don't like Louis.
I'll life lessons from Louis. Okay.
My voice acting inspirations are Sandy Fox, which I got to meet at Anime Expo back in 2016, I think. I was really nervous, but I really looked up to her because she has a higher pitched voice, and I was teased for having like it sounded like a baby when I was growing up, so to hear that she was successful in voiceover, I was like, oh, I can do it too, so I really looked up to her. Also Laura Bailey, like she's Laura Bailey, and then Kira Buckman I got to meet. She is so amazingly supportive of everybody, no matter where you are in your journey. She's just an amazing person.
So here's a fun question. You guys, I know Jackie does, but because we never met Michelle, like, do you remember your first audition experience?
So this is not typical at all because, well, I guess everyone's voiceover journey is not typical because it's different for everyone. But I moved to LA a week after I got married because I was like, I'm gonna go voice actor, let's go. And then I got an audition within 1 week of being there. Because I had good timing, I guess. That's the other thing about voice acting is a lot of it's luck and being in the right place at the right time and being prepared with the right skills to rise to the challenge. But I got an audition for this thing called Cutie Cars, which is like Shopkins, and I booked it. So, and what's weird is before I moved to LA, I was like, okay, Michelle, are you going to be prepared to not book anything for a whole year and go around here and be getting auditions? Are you still prepared to move? And I was like, yes, this is my dream. And then it all like got destroyed because I booked something in the first week of the year. I was like, I am invincible! Yes! So that's not how it went. But yeah, I was so nervous, and I think, it's so funny, you can hear it maybe, but when I did my first session, I was so nervous, and they told me that I could change the volume of the headphones, and I was like, okay, sure, thank you, and I was like, I'm not gonna touch it, I'm gonna break it, and I'm never gonna and I was like, whatever volume it's at, sorry, ears, but then I was so nervous, there was a line where I was talking about like storm, and I was supposed to say huge, and they wanted me to say huge, because it's cuter, and I messed up and went huge. And I was like, oh no. But
Did they keep that tape?
No, they didn't. But I was just so overly zealous, and I can hear it in the actual final thing. I'm like, really tighter, woo! And I toned it down a little bit, but I was just going ham on it. So that's what it was like.
Just for posterity here, Jackie, let's hear your story here.
My story, it's not as exciting. Well, I decided...
Kind of. I mean, Sailor Moon's involved, so...
It is. It's exciting. No, my first big audition, actual audition, was at a convention it was called Anime Expo, and this one studio does open auditions almost every year, basically. And so I practiced for an entire month every single day leading up to that convention, and had to wait in line for 3 days because the line was so long. And that was the year that Sailor Moon Crystal was being released, and so there were all these panels and all these things to do with Sailor Moon, and I missed every single one of them because I was dedicated to doing this, and that's a big deal. I know y'all don't know this, but that is a huge deal for me. But it all worked out because I got into that studio, and the rest is history.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. Like at the time, I was like, no, I'm missing out.
So, Michelle, I've got a pretty fun question for you here.
Okay.
You play my memory.
Yes, I
Another
do.
kid.
Yes.
What's it like being a part of one of the world's largest franchises?
Okay, so when I got the email that I was my melody, I actually cried.
Oh.
Because at that point, I think I had only been professionally voice acting for like 2 years, maybe. And so I was like, oh, they're going to give it to somebody else. They're going to give it to someone more popular, celebrity. They're going to give it to someone that has more credits. Like, they're not going to give it. And I actually didn't even get the audition. My roommate at the time gave it to me because he got the audition and asked if he could give it to me. And I said yes. And so
He was auditioning for my melody?
no, he just got it because sometimes agents send stuff out and they don't flag it as specifics. They just send the same audition out to everybody even if you don't qualify for it. So he got it and asked if he could send it to me, and that's what happened. And then I got the email and I started crying because I was like, I'm chosen! Because I felt so connected to her. Like I was like, I'm gonna audition for all the characters. If it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. But I'm really hoping for my melody because I love her. I'm like forever.
So you have that character once.
Yeah. I just really felt like my heart was connected to her, and I was like, you can't pick who you want to be, but I was like, universe, please. And then being a part of it, oh my gosh, it's so fun. So it's pre-letting. So that means we record the voices before the animation. So we, as the actors, we get to make all the decisions within reason. Because the producers and the director has their own idea. But it's really fun to be a part of a series like that because you feel more in control of making the character yours, your representation of acting. I love puns and I love kind of saying lines weird, if that makes sense. Because when we get relay, we just have all the scripts, and normally we don't record. Although relay you can sometimes record with other people, but for my it's for sure. For Hello Kitty, we don't record in a group. And so we just have the script there. So you kind of have to see it in your head and imagine everything. But for example, there's a line in one episode, it's the line was, I have a neck, and then in parentheses it says laugh. And so I was like, okay, so what I did was, I have a neck.
God, that's adorable.
So that's when you like weird. I like making my lines weird.
Yeah. No, that's good. And then in the chocolate cat, right? So it's like.
Yeah, so he is like completely different in terms of like energy level. He's like more studious and like calm, and he doesn't really break out too much. So for my melody and chocolate cat's like a huge like difference, and even during the sessions, like so many people